Family members raise concern on missing ABG Minister. Minister Mori addresses Coalition for Rainforest Nations. And Enga establish Office for Child and Family Services.
This is National MTV News with Shamaine Poriambep.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday's news. Enga is the first province in PNG to embrace the Lukautim Pikinini Act by establishing the Office of the Child and Family Welfare Service. The implementers of the program were sworn in today in Wabeg. Meanwhile, the Child and Welfare Service was jointly launched by Community Development Minister Wake Goi, Enga Governor Sir Peter Ipatas and donor partners.
The province welcomes the implementation of the Lukautim Pikinini Act and to support the national government slogan of leaving no child behind. Tribal fighting and sorcery-related killings in Enga are two of the main contributing factors of children being displaced from their families. Governor Sir Peter Ipatas says the province is taking the lead so that it will ensure that Enga children are protected, loved and cared and are given the best opportunities in life.
There's more challenges out there now. We have new styles of tribal fighting, disrupting families, kids. And so it is very important that we have a law that can protect the kids, all stakeholders, including provincial governments, had liberty to implement this law.
Youth, Religion and Community Development Minister Wake Goi says laws and policies are failed to be implemented because of the failure of the department, lack of funding support and the ignorance by provincial and local level government to adopt and implement it.
So all kind of teamwork now you may roll him out first on some swearing in of our councils or committee inside the province. A success today, we'd like to thank you.
The launching has attracted funding and technical support from European Union and UNICEF Spotlight program. The program strengthens the capacities of government institutions to address gender-based violence and provide basic services to survivors. EU Ambassador Janet Vidatic and UNICEF's country director Dr. Klaus Kamenga also joined virtually for the launching.
Congratulate the Enga province for taking up the challenge of setting up this important structure in the province.
The Lukautim Pikinini Act was passed in 2015 to protect and promote the rights and well-being of children regardless of race and gender against all forms of violence, abuses, exploitation and discrimination. The Office of the Child and Family Welfare Service have raised concerns for the national government to fit in world children's issues in their year budgets and the medium-term development goals.
Because at those times, there was no voice. Now, the children has a voice in NEC, and the children has a voice in Parliament. And that is an achievement. Address the issue of children in this country.
Provincial Administrator Dr. Samson Amian says the administration has taken ownership of the program by establishing the provincial council members, an office and the funding support.
To take on the lead to assist in getting the act implemented. Resources is the other thing to run through.
Vasanatha Yama, National MTV News, Wabek.
Enough of talking, says Environment and Conservation Minister Mori when addressing member nations of the Coalition of Rainforest Nations. The minister emphasized that it's time to take serious actions as effects of climate change continue to cause havoc in many small island nations. The minister was part of a virtual meeting aimed at gauging views on climate change issues affecting different countries across the globe. Enough of talking, stressed the Minister for Environment and Conservation, Mori.
Speaking from a country that became the first victim of climate change when we lost the Cape Red Island Now, having listening to all the speakers, I'd like to basically state here from the outset that there is enough of talking. We are graduating from one accord and from one to the next, and it is about time that we take action.
The minister was part of a two-day ministerial virtual meeting with various nations that are affiliated to the Coalition of Rainforest Nations. The meeting was to gather views on climate change issues affecting different countries across the globe. Mori told the meeting that PNG, like many island nations in the Pacific, became a victim of situations it did not create.
We became a victim of situations and problems that we did not create, nor were we responsible for creating them.
Going forward, the minister called on developed nations to work together with countries like PNG, who still has much of its rainforest intact, and work towards measures that will reduce carbon emissions, the major cause of global warming.
We must now basically seriously looking at how we can mobilize finance so that we can apply to the scaling up of adaptation measures. And in doing so, we can also recognize the losses and the damages that we suffer as a consequence.
The meeting is a lead-up to the COP26, a conference on Rainforest of Nations in Glasgow, Scotland in November this year. The Coalition of Rainforest Nations was formed in 2005 and currently has 53 member nations. The primary strategy of the coalition is to bring about the reform of international frameworks, both legal and economic, to correct market failures that result in unsustainable outcomes and to create economic incentives for the preservation of areas of high biodiversity and endemism worldwide. The Conservation and Environment Protection Authority is currently in discussion with stakeholders from the Momasa region to develop the national policy on solid and chemical waste management. This is to support plans for waste management in 4 urban local level governments, including Lae. The project is organized by SEPA with a technical support from Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA.
A 2-day consultation meeting is currently underway in Lae for the Momasa region on national waste and chemical management policy. The discussion centers on safeguarding the health of the people in the country by properly managing solid and chemical waste. The government, through the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority, organized the event in collaboration with the Japanese government.
The main objective of the regional consultation workshops is we want to get our views from our stakeholders from each region, so they have we give them an opportunity to have a look at the draft policy that we have in place before it goes through NEC for submissions.
The national government currently has no national policy to manage waste in the country. The government, through SEPA, in collaboration with its stakeholders, including NGOs, private sectors and academia, is in discussion to develop the national policy on solid and chemical waste management. This would help urban local level governments, including Lae, to develop implementation plan to manage solid and chemical waste in the city.
The urban LLGs were selected based on their capacity and resources from J-Prism 1. So we've got Kokopo from each region. So we've got Kokopo from the New Guinea Islands. From the southern region, we've got Alotau. From the Momasa region, Lae, and Islands region, Goroka. So what we want to achieve for output too is we want the 4 urban LLGs to have their own waste management plans, which complements the national waste management policy, which is still in its draft.
Lae's waste management is under the care of Lae City Authority through its municipal services. According to LCA's Health Director Jonathan Ipang, the authority is currently using the Public Health Act and Food and Sanitation Act to monitor and manage waste in the city.
We are trying our best to work in partnership with business houses as well as provincial government to cater for those both solid waste and chemical waste in Lae City. The challenges that now we are facing now is the population boom in Lae City, as we can all know. Number of industries coming up, and the capacity that we have now to cater for those choices.
Julie Badui, Owa, National MTV News, Ley.
The immediate family members of missing member for Nissan Island in the autonomous region of Bougainville today fronted up at MTV office to voice their concerns. They say the manner in which the ABG government is communicating with them on the search for Kerry Napto, the ABG Minister for Health, is unclear. Mr. Napto went missing with his wife and son when they were traveling from Nissan Island to Buka on Saturday the 17th of July. To this day, the search is still on for him and 6 other passengers lost at sea.
On Saturday the 17th of July 2021, a boat left Buka Island in the autonomous region of Bougainville at around 3 p.m. But unfortunately, the boat never reached its destination, which was Nissan Island. On board were 7 passengers, member for Nissan, Kerry Napto, also health minister in the ABG government. Others included his wife, son, a digital technician, a school teacher, the boat skipper and his son.
The accident happened on the 17th. This is between the time of 2 to 3 in the afternoon. It was almost like 150 to 300 meters from the shores of Nissan Island. Right. What we understand is that there was a lone survivor from which this incident been come up, and that lone survivor was able to tell the account of what actually happened.
Today, the immediate family members of Napto came to MTV saying that they were not happy with responsible authorities not communicating with them.
With immediate families around the country and relatives living in Mosby, we decided to come on board and to air our concern so that at least authorities out there can do something about this thing, so that we are satisfied.
Napto is from Wapenamanda in Enga province and is married to a local woman on Nissan Island. They say the family relatives in Buka and across the country are concerned and want better communication from the authorities.
All some family members only Stablo Buka only raising similar sentiments too, and we are not getting the agency and immediate response that the people responsible on the ground supposed to do. Now, if they have sought in funding, if they are sought in logistics, these things have to come out.
Napto and the 7 which took off from Buka in a 23-foot banana boat with 240 horsepower motors now have been missing for close to 2 weeks.
Going almost 2 weeks, and we've been kept in the dark. As a result, we have to come to the media and appeal to the respective people at that government level there to at least inform us what is the steps they are taking to in the rescue efforts that they are undertaking so far.
The family say he is a senior member of the cabinet and also a valid member of Bougainville and has committed a lot of his work on the island.
I know he has given much to the island of Bougainville, and the people of Nissan, and even to this country. And that's why we see that there is no concrete information coming from government authorities on the ground, and we are kept in the dark, and there has to be something that needs to be done.
Fidelis Sukina, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. More stories when we come back. Welcome back to the news. Evicted settlers at 9 Mile are demanding an explanation from city authorities over a land fee payment. Despite welcoming the settlement to suburb project, they are left with no proper clean water, power supply and other forms of services. The affected settlers echoed this while receiving food rations yesterday from business house ID24.
The settlement to suburb project was launched by Prime Minister James Marape and city authorities. For the settlers there, the project is a step forward to improve their lives. However, questions remain over the project.
But how look at them pantry too? 20 by 10. I mean, no problem.
Another settler says they were severely affected with basic human needs disrupted. They are being left to fend for themselves, compounded by the effects of the coronavirus.
All moving blow side temporary location, but temporary me blow by stop 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. Me blow no sabe tu. Me blow sa kaya longan em banana damage. Kako kumu liklik hab blow was. Em mokota damage. Pick to me blow sa luka dem longan em mokota stop number.
The settlers were promised by city authorities that they will be allocated new land titles and proper amenities in the community. However, they were told to pay a sum of 40,000 kina. This has left many demanding authorities for further explanation.
And then all give me blow 1 block and better where me blow no blow medium longan, which is Mr. 40,000. Now me blow stop here. Darabu. Minusa, me yet me send up those stop here. Minister, how by mixing Mr. 40,000 where me farm stop?
Without proper income since the eviction, the settlers have struggled to put food on the table. Yesterday, Business House ID24 visited the community to present food rations to the affected families.
It's like I'm rice nothing though. Tonight now 1 week by please. Go same here. ID24 stop. Market on, Barbecue Plus stop. So me part no this layer. Me 968. You 970-7271. You me gonna stop. So me come also family. Thank you. Voice play blood. Talk or ting play put him here. But you can go to all travel man, all leaders now all by scaling good now. Come back to me.
Jaglapava Jr. National MTV News.
Bank South Pacific has partnered with Brisbane Broncos in an effort to promote financial literacy among school-aged children. The bank today relaunched its financial literacy program for schools. Bank South Pacific, or BSP, today relaunched its financial literacy program. The launch took place at Tediro Primary School in Port Moresby. Popular Australian NRL team Brisbane Broncos joined BSP to help promote the program. The partnership will see the Brisbane Broncos assist the BSP in promoting the financial literacy program through various messages and talks with the students about the importance of saving. The financial literacy program specifically targets grades 3 and 10.
Through this partnership, all the grade 10 students will undergo 4 financial literacy sessions, okay? We will only target grade 10s and grade 3s. So for the grade 3s, they will undergo 2 financial literacy sessions.
Selected schools throughout the country will undergo the same training.
Sessions will cover financial literacy training on the basics of savings, budgeting, and managing your money. So you see, you must know how to manage your money at this age that you are in. So it prepares you. When you get older, you know how to manage your little money that your parents will give you.
Head teacher for Tediro Primary School, Hannah Charlie, thanked BSP for choosing her school and believes the opportunity given to her students will help them learn how to save and use money wisely.
It's very, very nice to see and interesting to develop this young generation into such things like this, to develop them. This is one particular area that will boost their morale in such situations that are unwanted.
The students who will participate in the program will also have the opportunity to open their own bank accounts at the end of the financial literacy training and also obtain a certificate. This program is aimed at helping school children understand a life skill of saving money, basic understanding of simple budgeting, and practice making decisions on the use of their money. The PNG Civil and Identity Registry signed a memorandum of agreement with the MAPEX Training Institute yesterday. The MOA signing is a joint partnership and collaboration to register, issue birth certificates, national identity or NID cards for students, staff and staff family members of MAPEX Training Institute nationwide. MAPEX becomes the first education institution to sign such agreement.
With over 18,000 students registered with MAPEX nationwide,
The MOA sign-in will now ease the burden for students from outside centers to register for the National Identity Card.
This MOU will be beneficial for all our campuses nationwide. Wherever MAPEX Training Institute are, as you are listening on the media, we want to assure you that we are working one step ahead to make sure we provide quality standard and at the same time provide such complementary opportunities to our students and parents and our sponsors.
PNG Civil and Identity Registry Acting Deputy Registrar Salome Bogosia says the sign-in is a first of its kind with an educational institution. Salome says such partnership is a good push in the right direction and calls on other institutions to do the same.
There's a lot of interest from students in terms of registration, given the fact that the loan program through DHEST has been an incentive for the NID program, and we've seen a lot of interest from students. And students have made it their personal responsibility to visit our offices throughout the country to register.
MAPEX Training Institute Chief Executive Director Marcus Kara says the MOA sign-in will be a long-term benefit.
Especially the population in the rural area will have their, identity registered, and they'll have their ID cards, and in the future, if they, the government requires an NID to travel or whatever, this is one of the way forward agreement that we, MAPEX and NID, we, come to this far.
Podivai, National MTV News.
Good news for some former public servants who have exited the public service sector without receiving their government component for the number one super savings. This component is now available for 3,500 number one super members. Number one super is urging retired public servants who have exited the fund between January 2016 and April 2021 and are still waiting to be paid their previously unfunded contributions to contact the fund. Number One Super Limited's Chief Executive Officer Paul Sayers said since 2018, Number One Super has received regular payments from the state to fund unpaid public sector employer contributions from prior to 2009. This is not for all members who exited the fund, but for those who fit the following category: were employed in the public service and members of Number One Super before 1st of January 2009, exited the fund and received your first exit payment between January 2016 and April 2021, and were advised you were owed a second and final benefit payment that would be available after a few months when paid by the state. Sayers said members who exited have a rare second chance at managing their retirement benefits. He said many choose to open a retirement savings account, which allows them to receive a small regular income while their savings remain invested to earn interest. For members who retired from May to July 2021, funds will be available in the coming months. Number One Super says it understands the tough economic climate that has affected the state's revenue and therefore appreciates the efforts that the state is making to settle members' outstanding employer contributions. People in the tribal-stricken area of Kagua-Erave have been urged to lay down their weapons and tend to agriculture and SME activities. And the Southern Highlands Provincial Government is willing to assist allocating 2 million kina to revive the Lamani Coffee Estate. A coffee estate the Coffee Industry Corporation believes can support the locals and attract economic benefit. Governor William Powie says this is a vital investment for the people.
Hundreds gathered in Aya local level government for this significant event, the revival of a coffee estate that has been left to depreciate in the past 30 years. For this part of Southern Highlands, tribal killings have been the blockage to forms of services. The local MP made his point clear.
You like looking at some coffee plantation, you take off, good night go, you must get peace lawyer. Without peace, you stop, and more project by non-African. And by true.
Not many know the story of Lamani Coffee Estate, but for the Coffee Industry Corporation, Lamani has huge potential if this coffee estate is revived. CEO Charles Dambui says the government is heavily investing in agriculture. This project is now an opportunity for the people.
Commitment from CIC now,
and we plus on up 50,000 nursery. Now we putting 100,000 pina ikan inside law, Lamani estate, locking up in that interest. But we play introducing more sample coffee project too, we come inside law schools, we play work running me stuff. So me like talk savelo, you me all young generation, you me must only agriculture now.
The Southern Highlands Provincial Government has released 2 million kina to support this project. Governor Powi called on communities in the 24 ward councils to actively participate.
You need to be empowered now. You mean must get, demand long come up good people long community. My job, I'm got to solve by feeding you blow one area. Me can set in policy, now vision, that's my job. How you come up, now come up good or non good, and you yet now.
With the aim to revive the Lamani Coffee Estate, the Kagoerave District Development Authority and the provincial government have already partnered to fix infrastructures like road, schools and health facilities. The Sumia Aya Road will be the first.
I'll complete the road, I'll get main health centers, main high school, rest of the something you must support him, work from Mipla Kirab you yet, so that we can come and partner one time you are. Now I'm 2 million and go finish long and me talk to this blood. So he got rational and reasons for saying this. Repeat.
Jack Lapava Jr., National MTV News.
Bank South Pacific has upgraded its sub-branch at Namatanai, New Island Province to a branch. In commemorating New Island Provincial Day, BSP opened a branch today and promises to offer more banking services for customers in Namatanai. The Namatanai branch will be a relief to the people in the district, as well as customers who travel to Kavieng, Lihir and Kokopo main branches to conduct simple banking. And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the kina opened unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market this morning. At Bank South Pacific, the kina will buy $0.2775, $0.3726 Australian dollars, $0.3951 New Zealand dollar, and 29.83 Japanese yen. Looking at the commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee closed lower, cocoa and copra closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. You're watching National MTV News. More stories after the break. Welcome back to the news. The renewal of a contract between St. John Ambulance and Puma Energy will see the continuation of fuel being supported to St. John Ambulance for 2 more years. The extension of this commitment includes the supply of fuel and lubricants.
The commitment by Puma Energy is through its Community Social Responsibility Program and anticipates to support St. John's to respond to emergencies effectively. This desired partnership is available to St. John's to operate within Port Moresby and the Central Province.
Third renewal again for St. John's, and we've continued to support St. John's especially throughout the pandemic, where we also had an additional support during that particular time. But this particular agreement basically also increases our support to St. John's for the next couple of years. And we're also proud to continue to support St. John's, especially with the work that they do in Port Moresby, NCD, and at the same time now branching out to other parts of the country as well. So that's been a good testament for especially the work that they do, and at the same time being able to reach out to other communities. And that's all about what Puma is all about, energizing our communities. And
with over 12,000 emergency cases reported per year, the support from Puma Energy will assist St. John's with a robust and reliable service. In 2020, St. John's covered an area of 1.3 kilometers and if converted to money spent on fuel, it will be in the thousands of kina.
I appreciate the significance of Puma's donation assistance. We very much appreciate it. And as I said, on behalf of the Council, Jean Kakato, the chairperson, is not in Port Moresby at the moment, so I'm the deputy. So on behalf of the Council and the good employees and workers of the ambulance service, we thank you very much, and we appreciate your wonderful support.
And with limited funding from the national government, such support towards the ambulance service is greatly welcomed by St. John's. Thaklagunga, National EMTV News.
The PNG Fashion Week will be partnering with the Hilton Hotel to host the newly introduced Paradise Runway 2021 show in September. The aim of the show is to strengthen the impact of Papua New Guinea's fashion, arts and crafts by empowering local creative content and building a platform that inspires economic independence.
The Hilton Hotel will now be the premier venue partner for the newly introduced runway show. PNG Fashion Week Managing Director Phil McKelgai says the partnership will be an opportunity for designers to showcase their products.
18th of September is our very first event. It's the Paradise Runway, and we will be hosting it at the Hilton Hotel. It'll be a very good event. We're attaching the PNG Fashion Awards as part of that celebration. It is a celebration of our culture through the platform of fashion. It'll be exciting, and we welcome everyone to take part. Designers are coming in from around the country. Our local models and talent will be participating. We have events people. So many Papua New Guineans are engaged during Fashion Week.
The event will engage local designers to participate in the launching of the PNG Fashion Week from the 18th of September to the 16th October. Kelgai says the biggest barrier for the Paradise Runway show would be time management.
But this is something we've done before. Fashion Week is not new. We are very good at organizing concept events and creating huge spectacles. So we have the expertise, the experience, and the people who work with us who can produce magic for events like this, so it won't be a problem.
As the premier venue partner, Hilton Hotel General Manager Ryan Mickelson hopes this partnership will continue in the years to come.
You know, this partnership aligns extremely well with what we love to do in the community and arts, youth as well, and obviously embracing, you know, young talent. So we always look for long-term partnerships. So, you know, potentially, yes, it will be a long-term partnership.
Porivai, National EMTV News.
Trokai Sports.
Welcome to Trokai Sports. The Mori Plus NCDC Vipers have formally announced the appointment of Joe Sipa as the new head coach of the Port Moresby franchise. With 3 consecutive wins under his belt, the Vipers team management has faith in Sipa as the man to guide the team to glory this season.
There has been a change at the top for the Mori Plus NCDC Vipers with the announcement of Joe Sipa as the new head coach, formally replacing Leonard Tarum. Sipa has been in charge of the Port Moresby franchise in his capacity as acting coach for the past 3 weeks, following his promotion from the assistant coach position.
The season for 2021 on a low note. We had 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses, and Vipers board and management decided to make some decision on that, and we've done a in-house reshuffle where we brought Joe Sipa, who was the assistant coach, to become the acting head coach, and he has been in the acting role for the last 3 weeks, and of course this media conference is basically about making the formal announcement of his appointment to be the permanent head coach heading into the rest of the season.
Since taking over the reins as coach for the Vipers, Sipa has overseen the team's vast improvements to their performances on the field. The Vipers have been able to string together 3 consecutive wins, including victories over the Lace Snacks Tigers and defending Digital Cup champions Cotton Hello Wigman.
Chairman Dr. Nitin Albert and Vice Chairman Tony Sipa and Paul Comboy. and with the sponsors. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to take the Vipers team forward this year. Already the result already been shown in the last 3 games, and having faith in me and giving me that opportunity, I'm privileged for that opportunity to lead the boys going forward the rest of the 3 remaining games and into the final. There's no secret. We just work with the boys to polish up on our mistakes, and we work along with them. So that's how we maintain that, and that's how you watch the game. We cut down on our mistakes and draw balls, and working really hard on our defense where I really want to start the game.
Haksi Lovai, Trokai Sports.
The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trokai Sports. Trokai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Moni Plus, with you always.
Weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, Port Moresby and Kerema, cloudy periods with patchy rain. Daru, cloudy and windy with brief squally showers. Alotau, cloudy with some showers and possible thunderstorm. Popondetta, cloudy with rain periods. In the Mamasa region, Lay, few showers. Medang, partly cloudy. Wewak, brief showers. Vanimo, cloudy periods with a few showers. In the New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, partly cloudy with brief showers. Kavian, Kokopo and Rabaul and Kimbe, few showers. And Buka, cloudy with some showers. And finally, the Highlands region, all centers cloudy with some showers, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by Moni Plus, with you always.
And that's the news, sports and weather for Wednesday, the 28th of July, 2021. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.